Hey guys, and welcome to another Q&A Monday video. In this video, I'll try to answer as many of your questions as I can in as much detail as possible. But if I don't get to your question in this video, don't worry, I might get to it in the next one. If not, just drop it down in the comments and I'll answer it as soon as I can. So without further ado, let's jump into the first question. Joy asks, how do you know the spirits are telling you the truth? Ghosts are known for lying about why they're here or stuck on this plane. The short answer is, you don't really ever know. The thing is with this field in general is that there are just no definitive answers. You've no idea if you're speaking to a particular spirit. You don't know who you're talking to, and you certainly don't know if they're telling you the truth or lying. Like people, they can just lie straight to you and you just wouldn't know about it. Me personally, I work off the principle of innocent until proven guilty. Unless a spirit acts in a particular way that makes what they're saying untrustworthy, I've no reason to disbelieve what they've said. I may as well go with it until I find evidence to the contrary. So you don't really know, but this is the paranormal field, I'm afraid. Vincent asks, I'm relatively new to this channel, so this question might have already been answered, but has the ghost ever touched you or anything? There has been instances in the past where there has been physical contact made. One of the best examples I've got is I was once speaking to Anna during, I believe it was an EVP or a K2 meter session, and I like held out my hand and I asked her to reach out and touch me, and I felt like it was hand-on-hand contact, and I kind of drew back. I wasn't expecting it, or at least I wasn't expecting it to be to feel quite as real, if you know what I mean. Like I expected like maybe a cold breeze to let me know that something had just brushed past it, but because of the physical nature of the contact, that's what drew me back. And there's been other occasions where I've done spirit box sessions and I felt things brush past my knee as something passed, and even on the recent video where something passed me on the stairs, I felt that contact on the chest, like a rush of cold air. So it has happened, but never in a negative way. Like I've never been like scratched or bitten or anything like that. It's usually been on request rather than unbidden. Mikey and Martina asks, have you ever tried using religious things like a crucifix to see if it has any effect on the investigation? So as most of you already know, I'm not actually a particularly religious person, and I try to keep religions separate to my investigating just because I try to come at it from a scientific point of view as I can. But that's not to say that religious artifacts and things don't have their place in investigating, because I kind of work on the theory that if a spirit had a particular religious belief in life, then that is something that they carry over into their spiritual life, as it were. So once they've become a ghost, that it's the same consciousness. They still have those beliefs. And so if you're interacting with that kind of spirit, then I believe, for example, if they were devout Christian, then using something like a crucifix could be beneficial, and you would appeal to that side of them if you wanted to help them cross over, because that's what they believe they need to move on. So I've not really played with them myself as of yet, but I definitely think it'd be worth an experiment just to sort of test my theory, really, that they carry that belief forward. So be on the lookout for that. I haven't used it yet, but I may in the future. Keely asks, do you ever get a smell when the spirits are active, like flowers or less pleasant smells? It's funny that you mention it, actually, because over the last couple of weeks there has been a sort of sweet aroma that crops up from time to time. Now, I can't quite place it. It's not like flowers or anything like that. It could even be just like something sweet, like candies, that kind of thing. But it's definitely not unpleasant, and it's just been cropping up from time to time, and it's strange because it'll come up, you'll smell it, and then when you kind of go around to go, where's that smell coming from? Yeah, like it's sort of locked into that particular room. Like it doesn't fill the house or anything, so it's not like it's wafted in and it's spread throughout the house. Like it seems to be locked into one room, and the air freshener's not changed or anything like that. We've not changed anything. We've stuck to the same scent for a long time, and it's unusual. It doesn't like precede any activity either. Like it does seem to be just kind of at random, and so far we've not really pinpointed it, but it is interesting that you mentioned it. Aside from that, I can't say that I've really focused in on particular smells with particular spirits. I recall a sort of musty sort of smell back in the day when I was at uni and stuff, and the darker entity was around, but they were uni accommodations, so they weren't particularly nice anyway, even before we moved in. So I never really attributed it to anything. So I don't know. I think there are smells that do accompany them, but I think it's only if the spirit itself had a particular scent to it, that it was attached to like something that really meant something to that spirit, then that's something that they carry forward. Target asks, my question is, what are your thoughts on why spirits you've encountered won't give you a definitive answer about the afterlife? Seems they either refuse to answer the question or simply say faith. That's kind of hard to say because, as I said, I'm not a particularly religious person. I don't have strong beliefs in like heaven or anything like that. But if I kind of put that aside, it is common belief that we're just not supposed to know it. Like, so if you ask a spirit who has come back and they're trying to communicate with you, they won't answer those questions because it's not for us to know. It's the idea of religion is about having faith. So I think if you go on that kind of belief system, if you are a person that believes in that, then I can only imagine that there are rules to spirits when they come back. Like if they come back to communicate with you, then they're not allowed to tell you. I really can't give a definitive answer, as I say, because of my position itself, but it does seem to be a common belief that they're just not allowed to talk about it. Chunky asks, new sub here, and I was just wondering, have you ever tried to aggravate a ghost on purpose? Now, I'm not a big believer in provocation at all. I don't think it needs to be done. Don't get me wrong, if a spirit's been violent towards you, then I would probably be more likely to be aggressive in return. But the thing is, you're playing with fire. Like, we have no idea the full capabilities of a spirit. You can't challenge something that you have absolutely no control over. You can be as big and as strong as you like, but the spiritual realm doesn't care. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, they can affect you in ways you have no control over. So why would you bother? Not to mention that I wouldn't go down the street and just be aggressive towards a person just to get a response from him. I would just talk to them, like, be a nice person. There's no real reason to be aggressive towards them. And don't get me wrong, if I'd been attacked, scratched, or bitten, or, violently attacked in some way, shape, or form, then maybe at that point I would probably be a little bit more aggressive about it. But at the end of the day, you're playing with fire. You just don't have any control. So I certainly wouldn't risk it without just cause. So no, I've not tried it, and I can't imagine I will. Richform asks, do you second question yourself if all that you've experienced as of paranormal was all in your head? Now, I hope I'm not misunderstanding the question, but I assume you mean that I've somewhat imagined the paranormal activity that's happened to me. Now, I do believe that it would be a bit of a stretch to think that everything that I've imagined, all those videos that I've put online, were all a figment of my imagination. I think that would be really far-fetched. Don't get me wrong, there are times where you've heard noises and you sit and question yourself, like, did I actually hear that, or was I just expecting to hear that? And so I think I've heard it, but I certainly don't think that everything that I've been through so far has been a figment of my imagination. I think that would be a stretch. But there is an interesting theory that kind of piggybacks on the back of this idea that certain people have the abilities of telekinesis, and in having such a strong ability that they think poltergeist activity is going on, they are actually generating that activity themselves by moving objects with the mind, and they don't realize they're doing it, so they think they're haunted. And it's an interesting theory. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a believer in telekinesis or anything, but it just reminded me of it a little bit. So no, it's certainly not something I've imagined myself. Deanna asks, how do you feel about the comments you receive that warn you are speaking to demons? Some say that there are no such thing as ghosts, only demons. Now, I'm not one to really disregard anybody else's beliefs because I believe everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I get told all the time that what I'm communicating with isn't a ghost, it's a demon, and I just can't see it. There are too many stories out there, nice simple stories, somebody visited by a family member, beginning, middle, end, and then they never see anything of them. If that was a demon, what has it achieved? I thought demons were out there to cause you harm and to try and possess you, that sort of thing. If they've just come in and given you some kind of comfort, then that's not a demon, in my opinion. I don't see how you can be so strongly in the opinion that every ghost is a demon when stories like that exist. And looking at my own experiences, I do believe demons exist. There are negative entities out there that we call demons that are out to harm you and to break you down mentally and possess you and things like that. But just look at Anna and Daniel. How long have I been trying to communicate with Anna and Daniel and getting answers? And no harm has ever come to me. I don't feel negative in any way. Haven't felt weakened mentally. I might get tired, but that's because I'm staying up till gone 3 in the morning. I don't see them as being demonic. I don't understand how that could be true. I just don't. I think they are Anna and Daniel. And if it is a demon playing some kind of long game, and I mean a long game because so far no effect, then it's really doing a terrible job. So I just can't get on board with that one, I'm afraid. Madge asks, what's your views on all of these phone apps and have you used them? I have used a few in the past, mostly spirit boxes, and I have tested like the EMF meter, which was quite clever because it did actually react. Like I put it next to my K2 meter and brought the plasma ball in, and they were reacting to the same sort of thing. So they can be quite clever, and I think they definitely have the place, but I would certainly read the reviews before committing to them because you've no idea what's been programmed into them. So I would look out for something that a paranormal investigator has used to some level of success before committing to it and taking everything you get as evidence, because the phones themselves, they're not built to detect what these apps are telling you it's detecting. Like they don't have the hardware inside, whereas if you go out and you buy a Mel meter, like that is specifically designed to pick up on temperature and EMF spikes. A phone's not. Like it might be able to do that, but that is just using existing components inside and then a program telling it to look at them in a certain way. The thing is with Spirit Box apps is that you've no idea what's programmed in. It could be programmed to spit out certain words at you every so often to provoke a response. They are all under entertainment. None of them are like factual, you know. And so you kind of got to take them with a grain of salt from time to time. I would definitely recommend getting the physical items if you could afford it. But on a zero budget, they definitely have the place. Yezfez asks, what's the best way to talk to ghosts? That's a tough question. It really depends on your beliefs. Like if you believe in spirit box communication, whereas I've had some good spirit box communication, but I still think there are a lot of false positives on a spirit box because it is spinning through radio. It's easy to get radio interference and to assume you've just spoken to a ghost. And for me, I wouldn't put that as the top form simply because you can't always be 100% sure. The same thing goes for EVP. Sometimes you get an EVP through and you can't decipher it. Like in the previous video that I posted, there are a few in there that just, they're not coming through clear enough. So I wouldn't put that as a definitive form of communication. For me, if I could pick one that I was going to go away and do, I would say a yes or no answer session in some way, shape or form. So use a K2 meter if it's particularly interactive and you can get it to affect the K2 meter on cue. You can use that for a yes or no response. REM pods, that sort of thing, or even just knocking, like knock once for yes, twice for no. If it's interactive, if you can get it to that level of interactivity, yes or no answers are the way to go. It's definitive. There is no misinterpreting what's going on, as barring external elements making a noise and you assuming it's a knock. That is as definitive as I think it can get. EVP and spirit boxes are down to your own opinions, really. And so that's it for this week's Q&A, guys. I hope I answered your questions sufficiently and in enough detail. Like I said before, if I didn't get to your question in this video, don't worry, just drop it down in the comments and I'll try to answer it as soon as I can. So thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll post any and all activity as and when I get it.